Hey, welcome to 1500ESPN.com. Nate Sandell and Derek Wetmore out at the dimly lit Target Center, where the Wolves just improved to 13-13 with a 120-109 victory over the Portland Trailblazers, one of the better teams in the NBA. However, they were rolled weary, and that was clear from the get-go as the Wolves really just jumped on the throttle early. Lead dwindled late to 5 points after they were leading by a ton in the first half and just having everything go their way. Takeaway from this game, it has to be that the Wolves can compete, you know, at least with some of the NBA's elite.
I think that was a big key for this team coming into this. You had the day off. You need to take advantage of Portland being in the fourth game in 5 days, something that teams have done to the Wolves this year in some of the tougher stretches of their season. They were able to take advantage of the Trailblazers, and it all came down to that first half.
Yeah.
We're able to open a 32-point lead. And, again, that went down to 5 points in the second half, but they were able to hold on, and that's just to get out of here with a victory. Regardless of what you can say about how road weary they are, it's still impressive.
Sure, and Ricky Rubio talked about that after the game, how important it was to jump out to that lead, because you'll hear this cliche all the time, especially around these parts, that the NBA is a game of runs, and man, Portland made 2 or 3 really hard charges in the third quarter, centered around young star Damian Lillard.
Man, you know what? Coming into this game, I think we all were looking forward just to seeing the guy in person. We saw him a little bit last season, but he is something. Just the fact that he can go back as far as he does and launch a shot with such confidence, and he goes in so many times. Rick Edelman even said afterwards that you just can't guard that, and there's really nothing you can do. And that's what happened tonight. Lillard took the game in his hands in the second half. I think he had, 26, 27 points in the second half and really brought Portland back. The Wolves almost let it slip, but I just think that a switch kind of hit them. Guys were coming over to the bench. You saw Ricky Rubio at one point and J.J. Barea come over to the bench and were pretty upset, furious. And I think they've seen leads slip away before this season. They didn't want it to happen again tonight because that would have been a sorry locker room if they had blown that game. And it's quite the opposite, just because they were able to get back to 500, and that's where you want to be heading on a road trip to LA.
Yeah, those minor positives are good midway through an NBA season. I mean, it's still December, it's still early, of course, but a fairly big win for the Wolves. 2 other positives, Nate, that I took out of it. We saw Kevin Martin in the starting lineup, and we saw Dante Cunningham play. Where are they at injury-wise? I personally didn't know if they would play tonight.
You know, I was more surprised that Kevin Martin played and started and played as long as he did. Given that he told the Star Tribune yesterday that after sitting out, all my dates are mixed up. On Monday, after sitting out against Boston, that he wanted to wait to get that knee right. That it was had been bothering him all season, needed to get it right. I didn't expect him to play tonight. He goes out. I think he scored 22 points.
He had a good night.
And he had a good night, and I think he said afterwards that it was feeling good. He wouldn't have played if he didn't feel like it was back to where it needed to be. And Dante Cunningham, on the other hand, was a pretty gruesome injury.
Yeah.
It bent his ankle almost bent almost sideways on him, and just to see him at shoot around today do what he was able to do. I actually talked to him afterwards. He said that he was running on adrenaline early. That showed when he hit that dunk. He was getting a little tightened up on him a little bit. That showed he slowed down as the game went on. But still, to have both those guys in the lineup, that still was a big positive.
Yeah, that'll do it for updates from the Target Center, but keep checking 1500ESPN.com for all of Nate's great Wolves coverage. Easy for me to say, but like I said at the beginning of the video, 120-109 victory to push the Timberwolves back to 13-13 against the impressive but tired Portland Trailblazers. For Nate Sandell, I'm Derek Wetmore. Thanks for coming to 1500ESPN.com.